We're gonna give people a couple more minutes because I know class is ending. So I want to give a few more people some time to hop on, like get in their car and join the meeting. Forgive my raspy voice. I've been up since 3 o'clock. I lost somebody.
Angie, I'm gonna take a photo, so you best smile.
Gerald, are people still in the studio?
Everyone's leaving now.
Okay. Okay. I think we'll just go ahead and get started, and whoever wants to hop in can just hop in. Let me just see what's happening in the chat really quickly. Evening. All the baddies on this call. That's right. All the baddies, including Gerald. All right, cool. So first of all, welcome everybody. Can you guys hear me okay? You can just like say hey or raise your hand. Thank you. Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
Queen.
Okay, awesome. So again, welcome to tonight's nutrition seminar. If this is your first time, thank you for coming. Thanks for, just showing up. We appreciate that. We do care about you, not just in the studio, but outside of the studio. So, these seminars we put on to just try to help you further in your journey. Obviously, it's not just about taking the classes and, putting in the work in the studio, but also putting in the work outside with the studio. So, with that said, I just want to do a quick little introduction. I think you all already know Gerald. And then myself, my name is Angie. If you haven't met me personally, I am part of the MEA team at Hodges, which is a member experience associate. And basically what that means is, any concerns, issues you have, I'm the person that you come to. If you have issues checking in, if you have billing issues, feel free to reach out to any of us who are sitting at the front desk, and we are here to help you. Hey, Linda. So yeah, I came to Hodges. Oh my gosh, it's only been since January. It feels like much longer, but super happy to be there, and I'm just grateful for this opportunity to talk about something that I love, which is nutrition. I was first certified in nutrition back in 2019, and then I became a certified personal trainer with NASM, and I found Hodges, and it gave me an opportunity to kind of combine all of my loves together. So that's how I got here. And tonight we are going to talk a little bit more about nutrition tracking. We've touched on it before, but tonight we're going to go into a little bit more detail. So hopefully that will be helpful to some of you, and feel free to ask questions, pop them in the chat. I will be recording. I may not get to the chat the entire time, just I don't want to keep you guys too long, but we'll be recording. So if there's a question I didn't answer, I will try to get to it later. Sorry, give me a second, guys. There we go. Can everybody still hear me okay? Hope so.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
might need
awesome.
to mute that phone.
Um, yeah, I will. Give me one second. Yeah, guys, if you're not on mute, please make sure to put your phone on mute just so everybody can hear. Okay, cool. So welcome to today's seminar. As I said, we're going to be talking a little bit more about nutrition. Um, I gave you a little bit of background about myself, and I think you already know Gerald and Teresa, of course, as co-owners of Hodges Fitness. So on the screen here is just a little bit more about me, just in my personal life, if you're interested. And if you have any questions about anything else that I'm doing outside of Hodges, like the bodybuilding, for instance, I'm always happy to answer questions as far as that goes too. So, last seminar, we talked about how to properly fuel your body for your goals. We went, we went into, whether you're, just trying to put on muscle or build muscle, or you're training for a race, as a lot of people are, getting into running now. Or if you just want to like make sure your overall health and wellness is good, and you want to make sure that as a woman specifically, you're functioning optimally as far as your hormones go. We talked about how to properly fuel your body for that. We also talked about things you can do as part of your recovery regimen to help in the pursuit of those goals. And that recording is available. If you guys want it, feel free to shoot us a text and we will send you the link to that. So how this came to be, we did a poll on IG a little while ago and just asked you guys what you wanted to hear or what you wanted us to talk about. How to eat for your goals was a really strong one. Um, eating nutrient dense versus meal replacements, how to work out to build muscle, eating in a deficit, eating with dietary restrictions, and how to reverse diet, safe use of steroids and hormones. I'm just going to be honest, those last two are not really my forte, but I do plan to address them, and I would encourage you also to do your own research, because anytime that we bring something to you, just know, this is not like stamped, it's not, etched in stone. It's just, from our own research, our own studies, our experiences, we're bringing to you our knowledge based on that. So, again, just, be diligent, do your own research, and then, we're always here to answer questions as well. Can you guys still hear me okay? Just give me a,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, awesome. So what does it mean to track? Basically, that means just keeping a record of all of the things that you're taking in for the day. And how that's broken out is the basic macronutrients or the essential macronutrients, which would be your protein, carbs, and fats. I would also go on and add fiber as well as sodium. And of course, you want to be keeping track of your water. So your protein, carbs, and fats, those are going to be your main macronutrients that you're tracking. For the purpose of today's call, I'm going to focus on those. I'll touch a little bit on the fiber and the sodium, but I just want you to think, mostly in terms of those three macros. There are many different methods of tracking. We're just going to touch on a few today, just for the sake of simplicity and, not overcomplicating this for you. There are several different ways to like eat, and be on top of your nutrition. There are assigned macros. There's also meal plans, and then of course, intuitive eating. What does that mean? Assigned macros is essentially if you have a coach or, somebody, a nutritionist you're working with, they will take some data, typically height, weight, lifestyle, if they're being really thorough. Lots of details, not just about your physicality, but things that are going on in your life. And they will assign you particular numbers of caloric intake for you to eat every day. Occasionally, if you are a person who needs a little bit more structure and, you don't trust yourself maybe
What you
to,
doing over there, Billy Bob? You walked in them shoes?
don't forget to mute your phones, guys. Um, if you need a little bit more structure and you don't want to necessarily, take on the responsibility of putting together your own plan, then your coach can also assign you a specific meal plan, which means all of your meals will be planned out for you for the day and you will just follow that. And then obviously the ultimate goal here is always going to be to intuitively eat without overeating. So what that means is like, being able to listen to your body's hunger cues and not overeat at a specific meal. So let's just say you've been eating 1,800 calories on a meal plan for 3 to 6 months. At some point, you should be able to eat pretty closely to those macros without having to like actually track every single detail. So that's what we consider to be intuitive eating. So once we talk about all that, I'm going to take you through a quick macro tracking demo using MyFitnessPal. It's not the only tool, but it is one tool. It's a fairly easy one. If you have it, have access to it, I would suggest you give it a shot, even if you're not going to use it personally, just to kind of see how it works if you've never tracked before. It's a really good tool. And next. Okay. So I went down gave you the rundown of what we're going to talk about, talking about the different tracking methods and some of their benefits. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. So the first way I'm going to talk about is super easy, and that is just keeping a photo journal. How many times have you been out at a restaurant and you're taking a picture of your food? Essentially, yes, you're taking a photo, capturing your memories and a part of your experience, but this is also a way that you can keep track of the food that you're taking in. For people who are really busy and on the go and don't have time to, log their food any other kind of way, this can be very helpful. So you just basically take a photo of the food. You can keep it on your phone, or there's actually apps that you can download, and I've listed a couple here that will actually track what you're eating based on the photo that you upload. On a scale of easy to difficult, this is fairly easy. Really, all you're doing is snapping a photo and uploading. I feel like there is, some room for error with this, just from what I've heard other people's experiences. But overall, I think it's a very easy way to keep track of your nutrition. And then this is kind of like easy to moderate, is food journaling. And that's essentially just writing down your meals in a notebook or keeping them in your phone every day. There's a lot of, journals out there, Amazon, Walmart, even I've seen them in Barnes and Noble. They're all over the place. Target, just like journals that you can keep track of your fitness, your meals, all of those things. So those are really easy. Um, and you can like customize it. A lot of times it'll be customized, or you can customize it on your own to what works best for you. So essentially you're just writing down everything that you're taking in that day. Super easy. I think, where it becomes a little bit challenging is one, carrying around the notebook, and two, just remembering to write everything down. So it's not, difficult in that sense. But it is another good way. The other thing too is if you are kind of like mobile, you're moving around, but you have your journal and you're out, you may not necessarily have like, portion sizes, but you can just do the best you can and estimate. Um, and there's different tools and different ways that you can go about this. You can use your thumb. I think your thumb is for fats, and then fist and palm they use for proteins and your other macronutrients. So again, this is just another way that you can keep track of your nutrition. And then the last one, my preferred method is using an app to track. As I mentioned, I personally use MyFitnessPal, but I know people who have used Lose It, which is a really cool app as well. I've tried to use it a little bit, just because I know people who do, and I just kind of wanted to understand it. And then in my research, I came across the LifeZone, which looked to be like a pretty good app as well. And in this case, when you're using an app, essentially all you're doing is you're entering in the food, you're entering the portion size, and the app does the calculating for you. So you'll see in the demo when I enter in the diary entries based on the macros that I'm trying to hit, you'll see the daily totals change based on the food that I'm entering. So that's really cool. So it's kind of like you're working backwards. So for instance, like if you had, so the person that we're going to be dealing with today, I've created a scenario for you. So our client today, she has a certain number of calories. And let's just say that she was going to go out to eat and she knows she's going to her favorite restaurant. She's going to get the same thing that she always gets. So what she would do is she would track that particular meal and then she'd kind of fill in the rest of the day from there. So the only thing that makes this challenging sometimes is, some people, they're like, oh, I know I'm going out to eat, so I just won't eat all day. That's not what you want to do. You really just want to, like, tailor the rest of the food you're eating for the day to make sure that you can account for those macros that you're going to be having toward the end of the evening. And so this can be an example, and sorry, there's a typo here. But the MyFitnessPal, it also can break out where it breaks out the macronutrients for you. So it'll show you on your actual diary, where you are at each meal. So you can see the calorie count. You can see how many grams of protein you have, how many grams of carbs, how many grams of fat, fiber, what have you. It's all kind of in there in each meal. For you to easily see. The difficulty level on this, I would say, is moderate just because, it's inevitable. Sometimes you're going to go somewhere and the particular food that you're eating is not necessarily going to be in the app. So you really just have to do your best and try to find an entry that is as close as possible to the thing that you're eating. So let's move on to our friend Jessica T here. So Jessica is a 36-year-old female, obviously, and she is about 145 pounds. Her main goal is body recomposition. And does everybody know what body recomposition is? You can just pop it in the chat or you can yell it out. It's fine. Oops, sorry. You guys hear me? Hello?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened to my screen. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. I couldn't hear anything. All right, so Jessica is her main goal is body recomposition. Now, did you guys know? I didn't hear anybody's answer. Did you know what body recomposition means? Anybody can give me an answer.
I do not.
Okay. So basically what that means is when your body recomping, you are essentially trying to lose body fat while you're also trying to put on muscle. So, you may come into the gym and you want to lose weight, but it's not just losing weight. You want to actually lose the body fat. So that's one of the reasons why we suggest that you do, or we strongly recommend that you do the strength training because that's going to help you burn more fat. All right. So that's body recomping. So Jessica, getting back to Jessica, her job is very sedentary. She, for the most part, sits at a desk all day. She does some walking around the office, but outside of that, she's just sitting at a desk all day. As far as her fitness regimen, she is working out 3 to 4 times a week. She does cardio 3 times a week for 30 minutes. And this is like a low intensity, steady state cardio, which would be like walking on a treadmill or even doing an elliptical, nothing that's getting her heart rate up too high. So those are just the basics about Jessica, but she has been assigned macros by her coach. So let's move on to her actual macros. So Jessica is at 1,905 calories. She is prescribed 152 grams of protein, 178 grams of carbs, and 65 grams of fats. Her fiber is at 25 grams, and then sodium is at 2,000. So with the fiber and the sodium, these are just like recommendations for women across the board. Oh, in her age range, actually. 25, I would say, is kind of on the lower end. But if you have ever tracked your food, I would say that fiber is probably one of the hardest macros to hit, just because you have to be really intentional about selecting foods that have higher fiber content. So that would just be, my challenge to you is to just overall, in general, for great digestive health, is to just make sure that you're getting enough fiber in your diet every day. Protein as well, but fiber specifically for digestion. All right, so let's go through a quick little demo. Just want to show you a couple of things. Can you guys see this? MyFitnessPal?
I cannot.
You can't. Okay. You see my presentation screen?
No.
All right. Let me just go back real quick. Can you all still see me?
We can see you.
Yes. Yeah, we
Okay.
can see you.
All right. Let me try. I'll try to reshare. Oh, gotta love technology. All right. Share. We'll share this again. I'll try this one. Okay, how about now?
It's loading.
Okay, cool. It says paused. Can you guys see?
Still loading.
All right, no worries. Um, how about, come on. Can you see it now? Still loading.
Still loading.
All right, I'm gonna stop and try it again. We will get this right, don't worry. All right, what's happening with this? Um, Hey, Gerald, are you on? I don't know if you can hear me.
Vaya, y el perrito, no le falta el perrito. Vaya, pues lo déjale. A ver, hay que llamar a Galeano, Galeano. Diga con Galeano, no le pueden dar. No.
¿Qué pasó, Alicia? Pues no. Solo Galeano, Gary y Natalie.
Can you guys mute your phone, please?
Pero no creas que queda esta perra, porque no la
Can you guys see it yet?
No.
Ugh. All right. Now? Is it still paused?
Yeah, it's not showing anything, Angie.
All right.
So I'm gonna just talk through this. I know it's not gonna be the same. Hang on, let me try to mute these people. So I know it's not gonna be the same for you guys, but since we have the recording, hopefully you'll be able to see this in recording.
No, pero es que ellos van a luchar por tercer puesto. Van a volver a cocinar para el tercer puesto.
Angie,
Yes.
are you able to mute the iPhone de Liz?
Yeah, I think I'm moving around so much. I think my computer is like going kind of crazy.
I mean, none of us Murrays were really whiners. So.
At least my mom said Teresa was. Until she put
Let me go out real quick. Okay. I think we're good now. Okay. Let me try this one more time. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with this, guys, but I'm just going to talk through it. And when you watch the recording, hopefully this will ring a bell. So what I'm going to do is, as I said, Jessica has 1,905 calories. I'm going to add a couple of meals here just so you can kind of see. So I'm doing 3 egg whites, or we're starting with breakfast, by the way. So I just type in egg whites and then I choose my entry. At the top here, you'll see there's one entry, 3 tablespoons, is 24 calories. And then you'll see another one that says 1 large egg white is 17 calories. I'm going to choose the one that's 17 calories because I can tell you that other one, the 3 tablespoon, those are the egg whites in the carton, and that's not what I'm using. So I'm just going to select that. I'm choosing my serving size, which is going to be 3. And then I'm just going to hit add to diary. And then I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of oatmeal. And what I like to do is when I'm adding, I will do, just very basic terms, keep it simple, but I will always look for the green check. So when you see a green check, to me, that means that this entry has essentially been verified. The macro counts, the nutrition facts have been verified. So that is what I'm going to look for when I am searching. So 1/2 cup of oats. And then we're gonna add 1 cup of mixed berries. And when you guys are entering any kind of fruits and vegetables, I would strongly suggest that you type in USDA, and that will give you a very kind of like the United States, like Food and Drug Administration, the official entry for that particular fruit or vegetable that you're eating. So I'm just going to do mixed berries because I know that mixed berries have a good amount of fiber to them, and I want to make sure that I'm getting in good fiber. So just give me 1 second. Adding that. And then because I also want to make sure I'm getting extra fiber and I have, Jessica has some digestive issues. We are going to add also 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed. And ground flaxseed is really good for digestion. So I'm going to add that to my meal as well. And I'm doing 1 cup. And so at the end, I'm going to tell you what the total is because I know you guys can't see this right now. But it's okay. Again, we're pivoting and we're dealing with technology. It's fine. All right. Let me just add this last entry. Does anybody have any questions so far? I know it's hard, you can't really see, but any questions about this process, the way that I'm explaining it? Does it seem pretty straightforward to you? You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but we can't see anything. Did you need me?
Yeah, I've tried to stop sharing and resharing. I'm not really sure what's going on with this video right now. But you saw the presentation, and then as soon as I switched to the new window, it went away. And it says pause. It won't let me resume it for some reason. So I don't know if it's a Zoom issue or what. I can give you control. Maybe you can figure it out, Gerald.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. I'm gonna keep talking though, just so that people can continue to follow along. You want to do Gerald Hodges?
No, it'll be Hodges Fitness.
Okay. All right. Make host. There you go. Okay, so hopefully Gerald can figure that out. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to do is I wanted to show you the difference. So I've showed you, well, I've talked you through putting that one meal. I'm gonna add a McDonald's McChicken sandwich because I know a lot of times, we're out and about and we need to grab something quick. So I'm just using that as an example because it's something that my kid would order, and it just top of mind to me. So just gonna talk through this really quickly. So my meal one, as I said, the breakfast was 3 large egg whites, a half a cup of oatmeal, 1 cup of berries, and then 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed. And so that brought me to, I'm not sure why that number looks like that. Hang on, guys. This was fine earlier. I'm going to re-enter this because that number was not accurate. But essentially, my caloric intake for my nutrients for that breakfast, with the oats, the egg whites, and the berries is giving me, hang on. Okay, it's giving me 321 calories total, 48 carbs, and 7 fat and 19 protein. And then the fiber is about 9 grams. Now, when I add that McChicken, just for perspective, the McChicken is giving me 369 calories, 41 carb, 15 fat, and 17 protein. So I just kind of, and 3 grams of fiber. So I just kind of want to, show you guys the difference here. You get so much more nutrients when you're eating whole foods as opposed to just, eating something on the go that's convenient. So, you want to make sure that you're fueling your body with as many clean things as possible and stay away from as much processed food as possible. Because as you can see, there's a whole lot more things that are good for me in this meal one than there are in the meal two. How's it going, Gerald? You-
What are you trying to show them right now? Your own
I'm
calculation presentation.
Yeah, so I just had a tab open next to the presentation. So I had my Fitness Pal and then I had the presentation side by side.
Okay, yeah, I think that's why it's a little messed up. I did assign you as host again.
Okay.
Try to share it, and then if that doesn't work, you can send it back to me really quickly.
Okay. Can you see? Can you see the presentation?
No.
All right. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened, especially because it was working fine in the beginning.
Do you guys see this?
We can see it now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Andrew, where do you want me to go? To which slide?
You can go to the demo. That's where I am right now. If you want to, you can open up a can you open up my Fitness Pal? So you have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other thing I wanted to talk through to you guys, because you are working out at Hodges, another thing I would strongly suggest. I realize for some of you, this is a lot of calories, right? I totally get it. But if it helps you when you're planning your meals, and you're tracking your meals, I encourage people to focus your carbs and your protein around your workout window. So we had a pretty good breakfast. We're not really eating that McChicken meal, but then we're going to come down to maybe we'll have, lunch at work. You might have a salad or something you've gotten from around the corner. That's all good. But once you get ready to come and do your workout, I would make sure, you give yourself a good amount of carbs. So like, that could be like a oat bar or, banana, some other kind of fruit. And then you want to give yourself a decent amount of protein as well. So the way that Jessica's macros were calculated, she's on a 30, 35, essentially 30, 35, and 30% distribution as far as her protein, carbs, and fats. And so that's how we come up with that number with the 152 grams, 178 grams, and then the 65 grams. So again, as you're making these entries, you just want to make sure that you are sticking to, staying within these numbers and you're not going over. Now, the way this math works specifically, I think it ends up around like 101%. So it's very close. I would allow myself like a 1 to 2% variance when you're entering in nutrition. And that should keep you pretty close to your goals. Do you have any questions about anything that I just said? How's it going, Gerald?
It's good on my end. Everyone can see the screen. So
Can you show me my Fitness Pal? I can't see that one.
oh yeah, I don't have access to it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Want me to put the video and someone inputting
Yeah,
macros.
I just wanted to show them what it looks like. Um, so Gerald's gonna be our tech support for a second. But yeah, do you guys have any questions? I'm gonna pop it to the chat just in case you wanted to drop your question there. Yeah, sorry about that technology, guys. I don't know what happened. Okay, somebody asked about Noom. So I am not well versed on Noom. I do have a nutrition client who was using Noom before she came to me. And what I can tell you from her, what she told me is that it seemed like it was very generic. It wasn't necessarily tailored for her specifically. And I hate to use the term cookie cutter, but for the purpose of this conversation or this call, I'm going to use that term. That is essentially what I got from her. It just didn't really seem very personalized for her specifically. What else? Does anybody have any issues with like, types of proteins or different things that they can eat? I know, just in talking to some members lately or recently, it's hard for them to eat before they come to work out. especially if they're doing the 5 a.m. or the 6 a.m. A lot of people don't really like to eat that early. So does anybody have any, issues, or if you have suggestions on what works for you? I'd love to hear that. Anybody? All right. So
I have a
my
question.
yeah, sure.
Can you give me some of your go-to protein sources that are not meat?
Yeah.
And also not like protein drinks.
Okay. So, well, first let me ask you, how are you with texture? Does texture bother you?
I don't really like meat. I eat some chicken and some fish.
Okay.
So I'm trying to increase my protein, and I'm finding that my go-to right now is cottage cheese.
Okay.
And then protein drinks. But I mean, I think that, what, like, how about what other suggestions do you have?
So, what is it about the protein drink that you don't like?
I like protein drinks, but I guess one of the other seminars I watched, they suggested just sticking to like maybe one protein drink a day, and then getting your protein through meals.
Yes. Yes, in a perfect world, you wouldn't, I would say, no more than 2 shakes a day. There are other sources that aren't necessarily, you know, food. So I was actually talking to Teresa a couple of weeks ago. So one of the things I do when I first come in the mornings, I sip on protein or bone broth. And just in that one serving, it's about 9 grams of protein, which is not bad. And I'm really just sipping a liquid. I also add, it's a different type of protein, but I also add collagen powder to my mushroom coffee in the morning. So I'm just kind of like, getting it in, sneaking it in different ways. The other thing too, I know I don't know if this is something you've thought about, but there's also clear protein. If you don't like, the chocolate, the peanut butter, whatever, there's also clear protein options out there that are more like a juice. So that could be an option. If you're an adventurous eater, there are a lot of vegan sources of protein. It's just going to come down to, doing your research and like figuring out if you can, um, if you can tolerate the different textures, because there are some, there's tofu, of course, seitan, lupini is a good one. It just really comes down to, textures that you're able to take in and be consistent with. And I would just, use that like across the board. I always suggest for you to, pick something that you can stick with and be consistent with. Elizabeth said, love the clear protein. Angie recommended. That's awesome. I love it. Um, as far as other protein sources, I mean, because I do competitive bodybuilding, I need those other sources of protein because I'm eating so much of it. But I definitely do have an appreciation for the non animal vegan protein sources. I just haven't had to eat a lot of it, or haven't had an opportunity to eat a lot of it myself. I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you.
Protein, there's also like a lot of, I think people have had some success with like the protein chips and the protein bars. I know Gerald eats them sometimes. I would just be careful about the artificial sweeteners in those, because sometimes they can be disruptive to your gut. So that would be my suggestion for that. Anything you want to add, Gerald? Oh,
I love Kodiak cakes.
yeah, those are good too.
I love Greek yogurt. Um, you can get like protein cereal. I know Kellogg's has one. Back to Angie's point, obviously you got to factor in the ingredients, and those things aren't always the best, but they have protein. So just eating those in moderation. I would suggest, if you don't like meat, try maybe eggs. That's a good one. Egg whites.
They also have egg substitutes as well. And again, it's going to come down to a texture, what kind of textures you can handle. So I know some of those things kind of can be a little different texture wise.
Yeah. So, and then always, as you are like as you already mentioned, you do drink shakes. That is going to be a good thing to bridge the gap with the amount of protein you're getting in. So you don't want to rely on those, but it's definitely a supplement supposed to supply you with the extra, amount of protein that you might not be getting in a day to help with repairing your muscles.
Yeah.
I want to add to the protein thing. So, and he knows this, but I also struggle to get protein in. So something that I've been making every morning is a smoothie. Because I also don't like protein shakes. But if you put the protein powder and like Greek yogurt in the smoothie with fruits and all that, then it's a lot more delicious. So I pulled out the ingredients that I use. Hold on. I'm going to show you guys the protein. It's very clean. It's definitely not like the best, but when you mix it with fruits and stuff, you can barely taste it. So it's this one from Whole Foods.
Yeah.
But so you guys can see the brand Macuna.
Yeah.
And then I'll put a scoop and a half of this so that I can get 30 grams of protein. And then I'll put like half a serving of 100% grass-fed Greek yogurt. And then that also has a lot of protein in it. 16 grams protein. So yeah, that's just another way to get some protein and just make a big fat smoothie in the morning to start off your day, and it helps a lot. Or middle of your day, whatever.
Yeah. No, that's good. Thanks, Teresa. Elizabeth said she gets her protein waffles. Yeah. And I have to second what Gerald said. If I have, the only thing with the protein waffles is it is a significant amount of carbs as well. So you just have to be careful with the serving size and, make sure that you're accounting for that. I think one serving is like 53 grams or something like that. And it's a good amount of carbs in that particular serving size. So, just be careful with that. And with anything, honestly, that's protein, especially like a bar, just keep an eye on the carb count as well. Anything else? I didn't talk a whole lot about the fiber, but I do want to encourage you because I think this is going to be another topic that we talk about not soon, but in the future, is gut health. This is also another like passion of mine. Once I get done with the certification I'm doing right now, my plan is to go through a gut health certification, because I think, people underestimate how much of an impact your gut health has on your overall health. That's where most disease starts, is in the gut. And I don't know if you know that or not. But it would be my goals to help educate you guys on ways to healthily feed your gut so that it's producing the right types of bacteria and less of the wrong kinds. So stay tuned for that in the future.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is like 2 cutie oranges enough to eat before the workout? Because like I go to 5 a.m. and that's a
Yeah.
struggle
Yeah,
to
I
eat.
know. I mean, I would say that the cuties are definitely going to give you a good boost of energy with the sugar. I would like to see you try to get some protein in. So maybe for you, it's going to be that like, clear protein shake, or it's going to be like a small thing of yogurt, something that's not too heavy. It's not going to sit too heavy. Because
Okay.
is that your issue? Is that you're having, you feel like it's too much on your stomach?
Yes, like I don't want to eat and then like it slow me down in the morning. I do a protein shake, but like after the
Sure. Yeah.
workout.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, because you are working out so early, I would say it's not the end of the world. I would just definitely, as you're already doing, just prioritize the protein afterward and make sure that you know, you're not letting your protein goal get away from you the rest of the day because you didn't, you know, it's fine. I think
Okay.
Teresa, she breaks her fast with fruit as well sometimes. So yeah, you know, obviously, and you're not working out every day to where you're doing that every day. So, you know,
Right.
the significance of that across the board is probably not as great as if it was something you were doing every day.
Okay. Thank you.
What about a banana? Bananas are great. They're especially good if you know, have a tendency to maybe cramp. It's a great source of potassium. Um, I like to have bananas almost daily if I can. I just don't always have the carbs for it. But yeah, I think bananas are great. They're a really good energy source for me personally. So yeah.
I,
Anything else?
I have one thing to add. If you guys are people that struggle with just meal prepping and getting in enough food, two things you could do. One is if we have MRP here at the studio, which is like a meal replacement supplement, but I like to call it just a meal supplement. Basically, it gives you the protein, carbs, and fats that you would need in a meal in a shake. So if you take a protein shake, for example, that just has protein, which is good. But if you want it more in a meal form, you can have the carbs and the fats in it as well into a shake. And it's very easy to make. It's just a scoop into a shaker bottle and you're good to go. And then if that is not an option or you want something else to try, I know you see us post a lot about Mighty Meals, but Teresa and I live by the Mighty Meals way just because it's super convenient for us. If you guys want to try it out, it's just nice because the meals will literally tell you how much protein, carbs, and fats and calories are in each meal. And it's very easy to track just to make sure if you're in like a deficit or a surplus, and then just making sure overall you're hitting in your protein intake because the meals are well portioned and they're very dense in protein. So like you don't need to eat that much more if you have a meat, one of the mighty meals in a day. Um, so if you want to try that out, just click the link in our Instagram bio, and then it should take you to our Mighty Meals page. And
Yeah.
then if you don't get the discount right off the bat, just type in Hodges in the discount code, and it should take off a discount from each of your meals when you order it through our link. So
Yeah, we used it the other day. It worked fine, Gerald.
yeah. Okay. Perfect.
All right. So we're gonna get ready to wrap up because we're almost at 9 o'clock, and I'm so sorry again for the technology issues. I don't know what happened there. It was working fine before I tested it, before I logged on. But anyway, I appreciate you guys' patience. If you don't have any more questions, we'll go ahead and close it out. Again, feel free to, you know, pop by the front desk if you have any more questions. I'm always available, or shoot a text and I will do my best to get back to you, or somebody will forward me the message and I will get back to you that way. As always, we are always open to also doing nutrition consults. Your first one, I think we're doing half off. So feel free to do that as well. We can just send you the link for that if you're interested also. So yeah, if Teresa and Joe don't have anything else, I think that's going to be it. And I hope you guys got something from this presentation today. And if you're not tracking, I encourage you to at least give it a try for a few days. You know, it could just be a little bit of an eye opener to just to kind of, you know, help you really see how what you're taking in. Sometimes we just need a little bit of perspective shift to get closer to our goals. So thank you guys again, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Bye, guys.
Bye.